All right. Hey, Phil.
What's up? Happy
What's going
Friday.
on, man?
Hey, not much. Let me just get this audio right. Well, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Let me turn
All
that
right.
one off. Looking good, man. We're
Yeah,
actually
where's my
online.
lighting? Look at you in the studio.
Thanks for joining me. Hey, I see David Stallings there. I'm going to let him in. Good morning, David. Thanks for joining us.
Hey.
What's up,
How's
David?
it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, man. Looks like
Loud and
you're
clear.
down there at the Mill Creek Town Center.
I am. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Best place in the world.
Yeah.
Holding down the fort.
Oh, yeah.
David's
Someone
doing
asked
his,
you.
doing his floor time, right? Which is actually a
yeah.
good thing.
Yeah, I love it. I get to see everyone moving through the town center and kind of get to interact with the public more. So it's good times.
That's good. Is there a lot of foot traffic coming through there? Probably on Fridays, right?
You know, it kind of every day of the week. It's surprisingly busy through the town center. And we are located right next to Bainfield Pet Hospital. So I get to see all the dogs and pets go by all the time. So that's fun, too.
Nice.
That'd be distracting, for my family with those girls. My daughter sees
Yeah.
a puppy and she's, run out anywhere, nose to nose with a strange animal.
Right. Yeah. No, I know what that's like.
Right
Hey,
on.
if I want to welcome in our audience, anybody that might be watching or maybe watching on the replay, and say hello, happy Friday here, and let you know what we got going on. Why are we doing this? We're live, and today we're going to discuss, is staging really necessary in this market, right? In 2022 in a hot sellers market. We'll talk about that for a minute. We'll talk a little sports, keep it loose and fun. We'll do a market update. Phil will talk about the mortgage market, and David and I can kind of speak to the real estate market. That kind of leads to who we are. Let me introduce these guys. David Stallings is a real estate agent here from Windermere, Mill Creek, and he's been working with the Northwest Home Listings team for a couple of years now, helping buyers all over Snohomish County. So he's a great agent, a great resource for anybody buying or selling in Snohomish County. And then, of course, my friend and trusted mortgage advisor, Phil Beecraft. Thanks for joining us. David, say what's up first.
Hey, yeah. Hey, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Man. Cool. Phil, how are you feeling right now?
I'm doing good, man. It's Friday, and it's good vibes. There's donuts in the office again.
Ooh,
More and more people are coming back into the office. I'm located in Northgate, but I live, as you know, in that South Everett, Mill Creek area.
Yeah, man. Well, you're always a pleasure to have on. Always fun to talk to you. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And this is kind of something Phil and I have been talking about for a little while, and we'll get into that. Like, why are we doing this? Because we've done a lot of recorded videos, and over the years we've been around the town. We did the Northern Public Ale House video and went to lunch and kind of did something like that a few years ago. And since then, the Whistle Stop video, we went out to Whistle Stop.
That was one of the first. That was fun. That was a good night.
And then I was just thinking about the time we actually went live. I think we might have only gone live together maybe one other time at the Painfield Airport. I think we went out there when Alaska Airlines started doing flights out of Painfield, and we went out there and went live together from the rooftop deck.
That was pretty cool. That was the first time for me out there. And just to be right there on the ground, right at Boeing, and watching those huge planes take off. That was pretty impressive.
That's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, if you haven't been out there, go to Painfield. That's an out Everett, Michael Teo line there where they do the Boeing test flights, and then of course Alaska, and I guess it's just Alaska Airlines. It was United was doing some flights there, but right now Alaska, and I heard they're going to start flying 737s out of there rather than the smaller Embraer jets that they've been flying.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Charlie? Thanks for watching, man.
Hey, we got some people on. All right, cool.
Yeah,
let's do the icebreaker real quick just to keep it loose, because this is what I've been thinking about besides work on a Friday, and we've been waiting all weekend, is the NFL playoffs this weekend. We're waiting all week for it, right?
I'm in. There's some good showdowns. I know my favorite. Who's gonna go first? Who's your money on, guys?
You go. You're ready, Phil.
Yeah.
I like LA. They're in our division.
Really?
I do. I can't help it. They seem like they're just a stacked team. I love watching them play, and more importantly, for them to beat Tom Brady would just make my heart double in size. And
You're
so
probably not alone there.
that's a big factor. Although those Bills would be fun to see, in the Super Bowl as well. That's who I like.
So the line on that one is Bucks minus 2.5. Bucks are favored by 2.5.
Are they?
At Tampa Bay,
here we
Sunday at 12 Pacific.
Okay, I'm rooting for the
Big game.
underdogs then. Yeah, LA on this one.
You got any picks there, David? Any
Well, I mean, when it comes to that one, I mean, if the Bucks take out the Seahawks and they're the local team, you've got to keep going with whoever beat your local team, in my opinion, if you're going to do that. But growing up, I'm actually from Texas, so a lot of people think I'm a Cowboys fan, which is not true. My dad said I could be a fan of any team other than the Cowboys. So I was actually a Packers fan growing up. So so I'm still there rooting for the Packers. They're still in it. So
that'll be a fun game to watch too.
Okay. So
San
we got
Francisco's scrappy.
Packers and Rams. I'm certainly not picking San Francisco. Then all three of us will basically be hated by the entire audience. No, that's not true. I like the AFC matchups on the other side there. You got Bills and Kansas City, Bengals and Titans. I think both are great games. I'm thinking Bengals will beat Tennessee because they've been hot. Tennessee might get Derrick Henry back, which would be a big factor, but it's first game back. I don't know.
He's fun to watch, man. That guy's a beast. Just the game
By
that
the
they
way,
played against us, they were scary.
Green Bay is the biggest favorite on the weekend, favored by 5.5. So nearly a touchdown favorite, pretty big. But you never know.
Niners all the way.
You never know. Yeah.
Oh. All right. You got your opinion, buddy.
Yeah. All right. So I see Charlie says Niners all the way. So hey, I'd be okay with that. They run all over them. It'd be great to see. I actually want Green Bay to lose. So.
All right.
So why go live, right? Because this is a little new for us, and I think it's just different. I think is one of the biggest reasons. We've done a lot of recorded videos, and we're kind of adapting to what's going on there, and also maybe trying to be out in front of some of this and just do more video, get our faces out there, right, Phil?
That's it. And video's been huge, and especially through the pandemic. You and I have talked about this, and some of my clients and friends know that we're doing the one-to-one videos. Of course, we're all doing Zoom, but integrating things and systems like the bomb videos, it just reaches people a different way. You can't show emotion in who you are, hide behind emails and phones all the time. So it's nice to get on camera.
True. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. And it's nice to actually put a little bit of personality to it. Reading an email, you can only get so much out of it. Whereas actually seeing someone and how they act, how they move, how they talk, it really changes things. So I think it's great to do this.
Yeah.
And David is, by the way, I forgot to mention, David is the Baking Realtor, and he's been making some great videos. Check out the Baking Realtor, David Stallings, on Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Can you put that in the chat, Preston? Is that possible?
Yep.
Yeah, man. I'd love to link up with you there too. See what you got.
Yeah, cool.
Feed off each other.
David, if you want to put your handle in the chat too, you might be able to put that in there in the comments. I'm not sure. So,
Baking Realtor.
Yeah, David's a really well-rounded guy. He's a
you're so sweet.
For working with a client or anybody in the area, he's getting to know the area really well, I think. But he's a Navy veteran from a Wolf-class submarine, if I remember right.
Seawolf class, yep. SSN 22, USS Connecticut.
Yeah, like he said, he's from Texas, so he's got he's probably, and you moved around, so he's used to that kind of thing, moving around and changing places. So that's very relevant when it comes to meeting buyers and showing them around the area. So
absolutely,
100%.
And his videos are pretty cool. He makes some good recipes, good videos. So
I'll be I have a big list scheduled for this year, so I'll be cranking out a lot more to come.
Yeah, we look forward to having you on here live, trying to do a segment like they do on, God forbid, The View or something like that.
Yeah, this is our own version of The View.
Yeah, I don't know if we can quite get to there. I don't know if I want to do that, but
so we want to do more stuff like that. Special guests, local businesses, charities, events. Just get involved, and if you're interested in being on or have something that we could come out and do live, send us a note or a comment in the chat here. We'd love to talk to you and check it out. We like
Mhm.
hearing from you, right? And leave us a like, a comment, subscribe so that we know you were here. We
Mhm.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, and Preston, you and I had chatted about too. One of our friends, the appraiser, getting him on here and just picking his brain. So many questions come into play.
We should,
So
yeah.
it'd
The
be
Meet
nice
the
to just,
Appraiser show is coming soon, for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, we're working on that.
All right. Let's take a quick breather here and do the drone shot of the week.
Let's see it.
Just a little flight over Silver Firs.
Nice. Okay, where am I looking? I'm
Great.
trying to get my bearings here because I know this.
Southwest.
Is this from your
southwest.
neighborhood?
Yeah, right behind my house. Looking southwest.
That's the hill that goes down right behind your house.
Yeah,
Nice.
show you from the other side of the house.
Hey, I know that place.
Kind of get the look.
Good color scheme there. I like that.
So yeah, if we just keep going up, 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 and looking southwest, we can see to Woodby Island.
Yeah.
From in the air like that.
Do you have a shot that, I mean, is it that clear? Is it that big?
It's out here where these clouds are. Yeah, that's it. Over there
Nice.
in the top left corner, that looks like a mountain range. I think is actually Woodby Island.
Oh wow.
This is the stomping grounds right here, man. This is the neighborhood I went to middle school in, and all the friends were in these neighborhoods, and when it was first coming up, Silver Firs.
It's a great area. Super popular area.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Willis
we love
Clipper,
living here in Silver Firs, and
a big park right there. I've had multiple kids' birthday parties there.
so let's get into the topic before we go too long here. Almost 15 minutes already. Is home
Friday, man.
staging really necessary in 2022? And Phil, you kind of brought this up in our kind of weekly conversation the other day. You know, just curious. I know you were reaching out to me and wondering, you know, you had a really clean house in this particular instance. Is it worth it? So I think let's discuss that and kind of the return on investment that you might find, the different types of staging, and then staging a vacant versus an occupied home, because like one type of staging, say virtual staging, doesn't really work in an occupied home as much. It's more for a vacant home. So
Right.
but we'll check on that real quick. And I don't know, does anybody have an opinion on staging that's strong right now? Because I'm kind of like 50-50, but I could argue either side. I want to hear what David Stallings has to say about if it's worth it.
Yeah,
right now.
David.
You know, it really depends on price range, in my opinion. So it's something that, especially as you get above, let's call it above 650, then people start to really expect to see something. And they say that only 20% of people can actually walk through an empty space and see where everything would be. So for those other 80%, it really helps them see how their furniture could look in the house. So especially for vacant anyway.
Mhm.
Let's say if you're still occupying the home, at a minimum, I would suggest, removing any personal items, photos, all of that. That way, when someone walks through, they don't see your family. They can start to picture themselves and their family really in the space.
Yeah.
That's
So
a very
let's
good
kind of go
point.
through them, Phil. And then because he kind of hit on a few of those, the ways to stage, and then we'll go like how would that work for occupied versus vacant. So professional staging, I think, is the one that most people understand. Buyers and sellers, real estate agents. This is usually the one where you're like straight towards it, right? Who knows a good staging company? Hopping online. But it's
Yeah.
also the most expensive, right? It's $4 signs there, which I'm not sure what that
It's,
means. But it's like $1,000 per
I mean,
dollar
right.
sign.
So, and this is what brought up that conversation. We have someone we knew who was listing a home, and it's coming up on the market soon. And he was on the fence. He said, should I stage this thing? Should I not? I mean, I've done everything to this home. It's like new. I mean, every surface has been painted, the new trim, new carpet. I mean, new everything, new kitchen. You get it. And he goes, it's beautiful. Why in a seller's market, when we know it's going to go for over asking likely, why put the extra money into it? Because he got a quote. It's about a 1,600 square foot place, if I recall him saying. But the quote was somewhere around $3,000 for I think 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, Yeah. Well, it depends on companies too, because the prices do vary across different companies, but you also don't have to stage the entire home. And that's what some people don't quite, click with. Like I have a listing coming up in Snohomish, and we are staging it, and we're staging the entire downstairs. So, living, kitchen, dining area, then there's a sitting room in the front, and then we're just staging the master bedroom after that. So there's more to the house, but as long as the main living spaces are staged and people can see it, then in my opinion, that's really what's important. And then you also can save some, some of those dollar signs can fall off maybe.
I like that, and kind
That's
of
a great point, David.
and that's perfect. I guess I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
And they're stager companies. They're a business too, and I can only imagine that they're like most other businesses. They're maybe difficult times, right? Even because the inventory's down, right? So it's affecting them. So maybe just staging the rooms that you have to. But one of my positive side of this is when you get a stager in there, also it's for the photos, right, guys? I mean, because the first thing people are going to see is the photos, and it helps that. I mean, you guys have the experience.
Absolutely, especially considering that everyone shops online these days, and that's not just Amazon, that's the housing market too. I mean, I can't tell you how many of my clients, I send them homes, and they'll still send me things from Zillow and Redfin that they find on there. And I'm like, all right, you guys are shopping. That's cool. You do you. So, those pictures online, like you said, if it's staged, it can look that much better, make it that much more appealing to a buyer. And then that actually gets them in the door. If you can't even get them in the door, then it doesn't really matter what you've done to the house. You're not going to sell it.
And so for that reason alone, I think, in my opinion, it might be worth it. I mean, we've seen some of these numbers. I know you guys probably have better metrics on this, but in my eyes, for the photos alone, the thing that I saw online, another friend of ours said that like 95% of buyers, pretty much are into the pictures. The reason they go and check out the home. So might as well
gotta have great pictures. Yeah, for sure.
Make those photos the best they can be, and do the thinking for people, and paint that fantasy, because your furniture may not be as pretty as the stagers, and so for that reason, I'm thinking staging's a plus. I'm giving staging.
Talk yourself into it. Yeah, and I think the photo thing is pretty big. So, but there is, jumping to number 3, another way we could fill that gap, right?
For photos, yes.
I've done this before, and that's virtual staging. And for me, this was a situation where we had a very large home, and it was going to be incredibly expensive to stage it. With real furniture in every room, and to stage half of it wouldn't really look right. It really needed it, at least for the pictures. So we went with virtual staging, and it comes out amazing if you have a good photographer that does the virtual staging. He does all of it in one, right? So the photographer does the staging. It's part of a package you can buy, and the furniture, it's way nicer than anything you'd probably find in a real staging thing or in a furniture store. It's pretty nice, but it fit the look and feel of the house, and it filled that gap. We had great pictures. The downside, people get to the house and it's completely empty. It doesn't look as good as it did in the pictures, but hopefully they can get over that.
They're there. I mean, right? They're there, and that was the whole point.
Get them in the door.
Yeah, and then you got one more person who's a potential buyer, potential bidding war. So I'm liking that. And I've seen also virtual with actual staging too. Like I think one of your listings, Preston, you had like a sunset in the background because it was a drizzly day. So they can go in and they touch up those photos, and then like steam coming out of the kettle on the stove, or fire going in the fireplace. So you can do a combination.
Yeah, some of those photos are a little too artistic for me. I'm sorry. I can't stand it when I see a listing photo and it's a coffee cup with steam coming out of it. I'm like, come on, that's not.
I like the virtual, or the virtual twilight though. If they can't actually take a real twilight picture, they do a pretty good job at those.
Those are cool. Yeah.
I mean, it's you're painting the picture for them. Might as well do that. I'm for that. I don't know.
Okay, so let's go back, kind of talk about, because we hit on the return on investment, and I think it's kind of hard to measure. But what I heard from Phil and I think from Dave, the photos and the appeal, right? It leads to more appeal, more buyers, probably a faster sale. things like that do have value, and I count it as a return on investment because time is money.
Absolutely. I mean, even if, let's say you get one more buyer in because you did it, and then they cause escalation to go up, let's say even just another $5,000, right? And then that staging costs you $1,500. You're still, netting extra money at that point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So another way to do it, and this is kind of something I've gone towards, is the rental furniture. And it doesn't sound as good as it really is because you start thinking errands, right? Or something like that, which it could be. And sellers have done this too. They've gone out and bought furniture, rented furniture. But we have specialty furniture rental companies. These are essentially staging companies without professional stagers. They are a furniture rental company that carries an entire inventory of staging furniture. We pick it out online just the way we would with a professional stager. They deliver it all to the house and carry it in. We just need to tell them where to put it and then place it and do the touch-ups around it and the accessorizing and all that. But you can even order a bunch of accessories down to the little vases and flowers and all that. And it's a lot less. It says I put $3 signs versus $4, but it's probably in the $2 to $3 range. It's, it's let's say if a house was going to cost you $4,000 to stage, this would probably be 1 or 2, really.
Okay.
But it just depends on what you pick and how many rooms you do. Maybe it's half. So
yeah,
that's another way to do it. Anybody tried rental furniture or anything like that besides me, David?
I actually. I mean, when when I was in college, I did it for my apartment. But
you're experienced in that.
But not as a realtor. No, I have not done that yet.
Yeah. Well, I'll introduce you to this company, and they're really good just because it's a great resource, and they're here in Everett. So, virtual staging, we kind of touched on that. I think virtual staging can be a great option. You should know a virtual stager and photographer to do that for you if you want to go that route. And then the cheapest and easiest route, declutter, clean, and accessorize. That's mostly for occupied homes, right? I think for occupied homes versus vacant homes is virtual staging. Occupied is number 4. Everybody's got to do this.
I think that's probably a majority of people right now due to inventory shortages. Decluttering, cleaning these things out, getting a storage unit. I mean, I'm hearing these stories all the time, so that's probably high on the list, is just to declutter. So.
Yeah, and I always put it, you have to pack anyway. You're already selling your home.
Yeah.
It's just right along with it. You just happen to be packing before your home's under contract. Yeah. And the way that I always explain it to my clients is you have to live like you're in a hotel room. The whole time that it's an active listing, you need to keep your toiletries under the bathroom counter. You pull them out, you use them, you put them away. Everything's clean when you leave the house. Everything's ready to go. It's like a hotel room. The home isn't really yours. You're just living there at the moment.
Right. Yeah. That's a good way to just kind of, just.
It helps. Yeah.
Get past the personalization and you're moving on, man. Your mind's already set, for it. So I like that. So I think we can all agree. I think we're all on the same page that mostly staging is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm leaning that way too. The only time I think it's really not necessary is you have an occupied clean home, in which case we're just doing number 4. And some people just live so clean. We're just like, hey, it's ready for photos the day we meet them.
Right.
And then sometimes vacant homes where it's a pretty straightforward floor plan, kind of like new construction, right? They don't stage every single house. They stage a model, but you walk through the other homes and the rooms are self-explanatory. The dining room, the living room, the bedrooms are all. It's when you get these unique floor plans or rooms where you go, you're not really sure what's going to fit or how it's to be used. Then it's really important. But there are cases where they don't need it, right? I've found over my 10 years that most of the time they sell in about the same amount of time, and it seems for about the same price. But they need to be clean, and it's got to tell the story. So.
Fair.
Yep.
And you guys had good input there. Let's roll this thing up and finish out with just a quick market update. And Phil, if you're ready, I'll let you lead and just kind of tell us what's been going on with the trends in the mortgage business over there.
Well, I mean, it's been volatile the last month or so. We've seen kind of a fall in mortgage-backed securities, and that's the biggest indicator on where rates are headed. And I'm sure people are listening to the news and hearing that, yeah, the Fed is talking about, pulling some of the funds that they're dumping into these mortgage-backed securities, which kind of regulate our rates to keep those rates low. Well, they're going to start tapering, that T word that we had talked about. And it's expected to happen sooner than later, and that's really going to play into where rates are headed. Right now, we are probably a quarter to even half a point higher than we were pre-pandemic. And so we're already seeing that, and a lot of that just happened in the last couple of weeks. We're in 3 days of an uptrend, so pricing's trying to make a comeback and stay low. But I think that a lot of this stuff's going to happen right before spring. So if you're thinking about buying, let's take a look at your full financial picture and let's come up with a plan, because you guys got to do this ahead of time so you don't get priced out of the market, because it's a real thing, right, guys? We talked about this. So.
Yes. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
Rates are still great, though. Even if they skyrocketed tomorrow and we got to 4.5%, gosh.
Right.
Man, that was
They're
still
right
be a
around
great rate.
3.625 is what we're seeing right about now.
Yeah, cool, man. Thanks for the update.
Yeah, thank you.
Real estate update. What are you thinking, David? Anything new that just jumping out to you?
I mean,
Rearrange our face.
things are still crazy. I mean, it's it's multiple bids everywhere, and it's people. From what I'm seeing, the best thing for buyers, and this is really hard for me to say because not everyone can do this, is coming in with one of those 22 ADs, those additional down payments, and saying, I don't care what the appraisal is going to be, I'll put in an extra X amount of dollars in order to make up the difference. And a lot of people can't do that, so it kind of puts them at a disadvantage. But everything that I've been seeing lately, they've been winning with the additional down payments.
Yeah,
that's huge. And on the lender side, not to interrupt, but when someone say has a 10% down, 15% down, I am reaching out to those listing agents saying, hey, in the event of a low appraisal, instead of 15, we can go 10 and free up some more money, just to give them that peace of mind, and have that discussion up front, just to show them that we're flexible. And I share those lending, with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's such great options that Washington has too, especially when it comes to I have buyers right now that have down payment assistance. Mm-hmm. So they were able to get it to where technically it's zero down, but they still have that cash where they could have gone up to 10%, 15% down. So we're using that and saying, hey, let's use this zero down pre-approval, and then that extra 15%, that can be your additional down payment if the appraisal comes back low. And then that just makes your offer that much stronger.
I love that. And that's a sign of a good lending and real estate team to put your buyers in the best position to win these homes, because that's what I wanted to touch on. I know what we're doing this today.
That's one of Phil's tricks, right? That's one of your tricks. I know it is.
How are we? Yeah, I'm liking that guy. Whoever set that up. I mean, that's one of our strategies to win, right? Yep. And buyers need to understand that we're in the same industry, and we're your team. All me, you, and the buyers. We're the three amigos, and we got to be on the same page and come up with a real clever strategy to win deals. And so, what else are you guys doing or seeing? Maybe talking to friends out there who are getting their buyers into homes. What else are they doing? Is there any strategies?
Well, I just put in the comments on Facebook and YouTube the link to our How to Win Multiple Offers infographic and blog article. So that's got my top 10 ways. Top 10 ways to beat multiple offers and win a bidding war. So I originally wrote that about 3 or 4 years ago when it was starting to get crazy, and I've just refined it and redone it basically every year with the strategies like the ones you guys are talking about: additional down payments, pre-inspections, escalation clauses, you name it, they're all on there. And so that's in the chat. Check those out. It's just going to be another year of that, right? Is the real market update. There's not really an end in sight right now for the supply problem. Supply chain problems are everywhere, and residential real estate is no different. And it's not because they're not arriving on ships or anything like that. It's because people just aren't selling, and there's reasons for that. I mean, it's a bottleneck. There's nowhere to go, right? If there's not a lot of homes available, then it makes it very difficult for somebody to sell their home and move to a new home or move up, because there's either not one available that fits their criteria, or it's unobtainable because they'd be competing with another buyer with better terms that doesn't have to sell a home.
Yeah, or I'm sure you've heard this. Why would I sell my home if I can't buy another one? I would sell my home and I would be homeless.
Exactly.
I can't tell you
right out of it.
how many times I've had that conversation. That's a real fear people have, and it's justified with the market. It's crazy.
And we're actively working on strategies to overcome that. I know David and I and Phil all have been talking with different people that have all different programs, and Phil's got a couple as well that can help you buy and sell a home at the same time and limit the contingencies and make that happen. So, and there's other ways, right? It's not always the person with the most money or always the person with the fewest contingencies. We need to find out what the seller's hot button is, and maybe we can accommodate that and win in another way, shape, or form, right? Seller goes, man, I got to sell this thing, but I just can't leave for 90 days because that's when my new job starts, when my apartment will be available and wherever I'm going. Guess what? Some of these buyers that have a house to sell that are having a hard time, they can accommodate that situation. So if you're a seller out there and you need a special situation like that, bring it forward, right? Because there's going to be there's a buyer for everybody right now.
Yeah.
There's so many options for that. Even that one scenario, there's so many options that you could do that could be an entire other video in itself, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's great. Let's put that on the back burner and get to it soon, because moving up this year and even the next year, people still want to do it. They've been waiting in the wings. We're finding ways to do it, especially if you have 25% or more equity in your house. With rising home values, you probably do. If you've owned it a few years, you probably have a 75% loan to equity value, whatever, 25% equity. That's when these programs really start to work, right, Phil? We can leverage some of that money and help you get into another home. So let's save that for down the road. We got to run. It's been half an hour. Appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, I'm liking this. This is a good banter. I mean, we can get feedback from people and topics that they want to hear, and we can, spitball these ideas and share what we know about the market. So I look forward to the next one. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Same. Thank you,
David. Hey, isn't there one more thing you want to mention, Phil?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Preston and I are doing a homebuyer trivia. We're going to be putting together something real fun. Just like those trivias, you go to those pubs and have fun, grab your cell phone, get in front of a computer, and we're going to be giving away some prizes and tackling some questions and some topics about real estate and lending, and also just some bizarre and fun, weird trivia.
Pop culture, sports, and entertainment. I think that through a platform like this, and as we continue to do this and get more people to watch, and we'll schedule some events, and Phil's got a cool thing called Kahoot, where you can play a trivia game in the meeting using your phone as a controller. So we can have some fun with that. So I look forward to doing that with you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we could usually do that in about a half an hour to 45 minutes and give away some prizes and take away some knowledge. So that's the whole goal.
Cool.
Yep.
That's coming up next month.
All right. Well, once again, appreciate you guys. Appreciate anybody that watched. And if you're watching now or on the replay, please give us a like and a comment so we know you stopped by. And everybody have a great weekend.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
You
See you guys.
Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Right. Bye-bye.